got a huge spot in my forehead.
Mm. Hey everybody, I'm John Morgan, and welcome to another Hero Hangout. Again, I'm John Morgan, and I'm here with Amal, a really inspiring and brilliant and loving woman who I met a couple of years ago now. And I'm going to introduce you to her briefly, and then I'll ask her to tell you a bit more about who she is, and then we'll dive into her story today. And that's why I have her on, is because I find her story inspiring. Every time I hear it, it lifts my heart, and I know that you hearing it as well is going to be inspiring for you. So I don't know exactly how long ago. I think it was a little over 2 years ago. I was doing a talk in London, and after the talk, a woman was standing around, and ended up chatting with her, and that was Amal, and she was telling me a bit about what she was up to, but I just had a sense that there was something so much brighter that was trying to get out in her. I didn't know what it was, and so I invited her to have a conversation with me, and we met in London and went for a walk in the park. And I spent 2 hours drilling her, trying to figure out what it is she really, really, really wanted. And I just felt like there was something more than she was willing to share. And it took an hour and 50 minutes to finally get out of her. But around our second lap of the park, she shared it with me. And I'll let her share what that is. So Amal, welcome. And thank you for being here. And I'd love you to share a little bit about where you were at that point in your life, what you were up to, what you were doing for work, whatever. And what you remember that experience in the park, and what you shared with me. Would love you to share as well.
Hello, John, and hello, everyone. And basically, it's been 2 years, but it feels like it was yesterday. I remember when I saw you in one of your speeches, and it was in a group, and you were talking about how we should follow our passions and to not let fears to stop us from achieving our dreams. And at that point of my life, to be honest with you, I was really struggling, and I was doing a job which I wasn't enjoying it that much. I was doing other things on the other side, and at that time, I really fell in love with in media and in journalism. I was doing a lot of short courses in my break time, and
you're doing a lot of what in your break?
No, sorry, I was doing like short courses in my weekends and in evenings about journalism.
About journalism, okay. So you weren't working in journalism. What were you doing?
No, well, I was doing IT. I studied IT, and I've been working in IT for the past 7 years.
Okay.
So, and it was totally different field, but you know, everything has changed once I worked in a media company 5 years ago, and it just kind of feels like, for the first time, I felt I'm in the right place, but at the wrong job, which, you know, it kind of was heartbreaking at the same time.
Okay, so in a media company, not doing journalism.
Yes, it's kind of like you're in your perfect place, and but you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing totally something else.
Yeah. I get it.
And you see your dream job like every day
walking
around you. Everyone's doing it except you.
Yeah, it's like, hi, how you doing? Oh, yeah.
And you have to get stuck with other things, which, you know, it's quite funny. I really enjoyed IT. I mean, and when I got the job as an IT person. I loved it because at that time, this is what I only knew. I mean, when I graduated and when I went to school and university, I never knew that, and my passion will ever be in media. I never knew what I wanted to do. I thought maybe IT is the right job for me, but after doing it for a while, I realized, it's not the right job for me. Maybe I need to figure out. Maybe I need to move in within IT to a different department. But when I managed to get the job in a newspaper, it's one of the prestigious newspaper in the UK, and I just kind of feel like I've entered a whole totally new world, and I discovered myself, my passions, and I discovered a whole new Amal, which I never knew about it, and the only way I found about it is when I got the job. And I did not let anything to stop me, and I was doing my day-to-day job. But at the evening, I used to go to a lot of talks and different events. I start writing in my weekends and volunteering.
I remember I Googled you when we were first having conversations, and I found your website where you were writing about democracy.
Yes.
Blog.
Yes.
But what was that about? What got you inspired to do that?
Well, and I don't know. I mean, when I worked at that particular company, I felt I'm here for a reason to tell a story,
Hmm.
and there is a lot. I mean, I'm originally from Somalia, and there's a lot of things about my country where people in the West and all around the world, they don't know about it. And I feel maybe I'm here, maybe the universe and God brought me to that place for that particular reason.
Right.
And I feel so passionate about it because there's so many great, hidden and discovered stories. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
And I think I was the only Somali person in that company. And I thought, it's my duty. I felt like I'm obliged to let the world share my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when we
And
met,
small portion of story, yeah.
when we met, you were doing a job that it wasn't that you hated it. It just wasn't the thing that was your true calling. And there was something inside you that
Yes.
you would love to do. But do you remember that it took you like almost 2 hours to actually even speak out and tell me what it was?
Yeah, I remember actually when we were at the event and I just said hi to you, and you was asking questions about how you can come over the fees, because at that point I felt it's kind of like an impossible for me to ever be in that field. I found it like so hard. I felt like I've been trying so hard to get into it and I'm not getting any call or any answers. So I was a bit down and I gave you my card and we had a chat. And then you got in touch with me like a couple of days ago and I was like excited and shocked when I got your email. And then when we went for a walk, I don't know, so many questions, so many things were coming in my head, but I never thought that 2 hours walk we had at Regents Park, it will lead me where I am now, which is, I am doing my dream job. I am working as a journalist in a newsroom, and I'm finally, being in a company, in a TV stations where I feel I am in the right place, doing the right job, and I can tell the stories of many people.
So this is
And
awesome, and you just skipped over the whole 2 years of the journey, right? And so that's where all the magic is. Like, yeah, we had this conversation, and you talked about your dream, and now you're living it. But what happened in the middle? Like, how did you get
it
from
was
there to
hard.
here?
It
What was
was
the first
hard.
thing? What happened right after you were first willing to tell me that what you really wanted to be is be a journalist, to be a broadcaster, to be on TV? And at that time, it was slightly different, right? You said, where did you want to be doing that?
I remember exactly when you asked me, what is your secret dream?
Yeah.
And I giggled. I laughed. And I said, what do you mean? And I was like, well, what is that secret dream that you never told anyone about it?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I've got this secret dream, which I feel sometimes embarrassed or too shy to speak it up to myself because I felt it's way too impossible and really far to achieve it. And I never dared even to think between me and myself about that dream. And it's quite funny. It took me like an hour. Was it an hour, over 2 hours? Like a chat for
Almost
me
2 hours.
just to.
I was like, I'm almost
Yeah.
gonna give up here. It's like, geez, yeah, it took you a while.
To say it. And the moment I say that dream, it just felt like I can never stop talking about it. I felt like I can. I
So
really
what
had
did
the
you say?
chance.
What did you say at that time that it was? What was it then?
Well, well, okay. I think I'm ready now to say it in public and to let everyone know the secret dream. And I always dreamt of being, a famous public figure where I will be able to inspire the young generations and the young people. And I always dreamt like I will be able to be in a point where I'll be able to help everyone and give them a hope and not letting them to stop wherever they are and say impossible. I mean, I came from a background which, my mom worked really hard to raise us up, and it wasn't easy for her. And sometimes I had no choice but to accept what I've got. But I refused that. I said, I'm not going to be like everyone else. I'm not going to accept what I've got. I can make my own journey. I can make my own dreams, and I will follow my heart. It was really difficult because I felt like I'm the only one who's standing in the crowd, and no one was listening or understanding where I'm coming from, or they were thinking I'm insane. But I think it was worth the hard time. And my big dream, I'm a big fan of Oprah Winfrey. really big fan of her, and I always admire what she's been doing and giving to the world, not just only on the West or on the state, but all around the world, from south to east. And I always dreamt to be like her one day, where I'll be able to help everyone and inspire everyone, and not let anyone to stop where they are and just to believe in themselves.
And we talked about, like, if you were to move towards that dream, what would be a job or a career path, right? And that led you to Abu Dhabi. Do you want to tell how that happened?
It's weird. I mean, at that time, you said to me, okay, how would you go there? I said, well, the first step, I need to be working in a TV station.
Yeah.
And because of my background, I thought, the best place to be, it's in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. So I had a couple of companies in mind to go and to look for jobs around there. But it was so difficult. I mean, at that time, it felt like so difficult and impossible. And I said, well, I've got either to go to Doha or to go to the United Arab Emirates, and because they've got like a lot of media companies. And I thought it will be the best way to start my journey. So we had a program where I was searching for jobs every day, waking up early morning.
What do you mean we had a program? You and I?
Well, basically, he said to me, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to look for a job every day till I find the right job, which is going to take me to my dream, or closer to my dream.
Right.
And he said to me, okay, well, update me. And then I've been looking things online for almost 2 weeks, and I wasn't getting anything. Then at that point and at that moment, I decided, well, okay, if I just sit there and keep searching the net, God knows when the opportunity is going to come.
Right.
I think it's about time for me to go and after my dreams and to look for the opportunities rather than just sit there and waiting for it to come.
And that I want to really point out the difference in what you did. For me, you moved from a place of waiting to a place of creating. And it was like you could just sit there and wait for some opportunity to just float into your MacBook or whatever, and like, here's your job. Or you could say, like, I'm going to take an active role in this, and that's what you did, right? And so you kind of switched your orientation to being more proactive. So what did you do?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I never thought about people were going to reject me and which kind of feedback. I didn't care. I said, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get the outcome that I want. So I made sure, somehow I had it with I'm going to get the outcome that I want. And I've updated my LinkedIn account, and I start contacting people. Just thinking about it at that time, I thought maybe it would be impossible to get people responding back to me because I know how everyone is busy. But I was really surprised. I mean, every company that I got in touch with, every people I've tried to contact, they were so friendly and cooperative with me. And I managed to have a couple of emails backwards and forwards with them, and I got like a meetings with them where I managed to book a meeting and go there and I'd see them for an interviews.
Yeah, but remember what you told me back then is that you were going there with under the auspice of it being a work experience. At that point, you didn't know it was going to be an interview, right?
Absolutely, but once I got there, it turned up to an interview.
Yeah, surprise. I love that part of it.
Yeah, it was like, and it's amazing how I was really hesitating about it at the beginning, and I thought, okay, we're going to be a work experience, and I thought, I hope like my IT experience never interfere with me changing the job, because it's kind of like it was a huge jump from being in IT and jumping all the way into journalism.
Yeah.
And that was kind of always at the back of my mind. But surprisingly, once I went there, they were quite impressed. And what really helped me was when I was at my company, my previous company. I did a lot actually. I did not mention it to you, where I managed to talk to people and to tell them about a couple of ideas, and I was lucky actually to get a secondment for the editorial side of the company, and I've been trained as a video producer where I made a couple of films for the company website, and that really helped me as well with my CV and selling myself, which is like, yes, I am been doing this. But at the same time, I did not just only sit at my back and said, okay, well, yeah, I'm not doing my dream job. I just let me just accept what I've got. But I went there, I talked to people, I participated in their conferences, and I've used my languages. I speak two languages. I speak Arabic, I speak Somali, so I was doing a lot of translation. And if they need any report or sources, I was always there at the front. That yes, I am there, and I'm always will be there if you need anything. And all that experience that I've been doing for the past 5 years, it helped me when I went for the work experience,
right,
interview in the Middle East. So I managed to get like a meeting with senior people into big companies, and one in Abu Dhabi and one in Dubai.
And I love the part of the story where you went there for a work experience with one company. While you were there, all of a sudden you were at an interview you didn't realize that you were going to be. And while you were there, you got an email from another company who you emailed before you left that asked you to come to an interview, and you said, well, I'm actually here already. Isn't that what happened?
Well, basically, and I've already contacted both of the company at the same times.
Yeah.
But the first one, kind of like the meeting and with the senior and guy, it was already fixed. But the second one, it wasn't there. So when I got into Dubai, I managed to get in touch with him. I said to him, I'm in Dubai, I would love to come and see you. So he said, yes, you're more than welcome. And I was there, and I spoke to them, and I managed to sell myself. And nothing came out after that meeting or an interview, to be honest with you. But what I've really gained, it was my self-confidence. For the first time, I was so confident about myself and about my achievement, and I was really proud, how far that I've been. And I said, you know what, even if I did not get this, I've gained a lot, because I've managed to see their impressions in their eyes, like how excited and really surprised to see my experience and what I've been doing. And I said it was more than enough for me to make me keep going, keep going, and not stopping where I am, even if nothing came out of it. If I manage to go that far, I can definitely go even further and further and further. So I came back, I had a great experience, and a lot of good things came up from that.
Didn't one of the companies offer you something?
Well, one of them offered me actually a true work experience. Like, they say to me to come there and to work with them for a month, and then if I pass the exams and everything, they will, and they see me like doing great, they might offer me a job. But unfortunately, it wasn't so realistic for me here in London. I could not just leave everything behind me and go there. I had to come back.
You had though as well from that, right?
I'm sorry?
There was another reason you decided not to go back too, besides the fact that you had stuff in London. What was that?
I can't remember.
I remember you sharing with me, you decided that it's not where you wanted to be.
Oh yeah, I wasn't too sure that I want to be there, 100%. So I was there, even if I got the job, I was hesitating. I wanted to be in that particular place, job and company, but I wasn't too sure if it should be there or here. It kind of felt like half of me was here in the UK. I could not just leave everything behind me.
And what was the hesitation? Like, why were you not sure? What was your concern?
It was too difficult for me actually to leave everything behind. Here, being in London and being in the UK, it's my home now, and it wasn't so easy just to leave everything and go there. And I had a lot of commitment to look for. There
was a deeper mission, though. I'm not sure if you're happy to share it or not, but like the real purpose behind your desire to do this, to help people and to have a voice for a certain group of people. That was something we talked a lot about. Are you happy talking about that?
Yeah, I am. I am happy. I felt like I will have more influence with my community if I stayed here in London. I will be able to help more people here. I will be able to be more in outreach with them if I'm here in the UK.
Yeah.
When you say to be honest with you,
do you mean like the Islamic community?
No, everyone. Everyone, Somali, Islamic, people here in East London. I grew up in East London, and East London is my community. And before I even getting this job, I used to be a youth worker, working in small communities, being around children and kids and
Cool.
helping them around. So my community actually what it really mattered to me.
Beautiful. Yeah. I remember you telling me, and this just only because this really touched me. I remember you telling me that it was interesting to me because your dream, you was like, I want to be in the Middle East. I would love to be there doing this. And then you went there and you had this bit of an experience with it. And you're like, it was great in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I didn't feel like as a woman that I could express myself and support my community in the same way that I could if I was in London.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
I felt like if I want to be successful.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I want to be successful, if I want to achieve something, I want to achieve it here in my hometown with my community rather than being somewhere else.
I love the fact that the only way you
like,
could know that was by going down the path of what you thought was the right direction. And that's such a beautiful example of like, you need to follow your heart and there needs to be paths that end up unfinished and you go down that and you think that's it, but the real reason that you were doing that is just to help you understand yourself more deeply and what you really want. And that's perfect.
Definitely. And you know, it's funny. I mean, sometimes you will think, yes, I've reached my destinations or I've achieved the goal, but it's not as simple as you think. I mean, when people say journey, they don't know what does the journey mean, but you reach to a certain point, but that means not the end. There is more to come.
That's right.
So you have to continue. You have to keep going. No matter what, you have to keep going. You know, I mean, I got this job where I am now is just like when I was nearly about to give up. So
before you go in, tell me what it was like when you were nearly about to give up. What were you thinking? What had you done, and what results had you not gotten, and what were you like? What was going through your head?
Okay, just bear with me. Let me switch the light because it's getting really dark in here.
Okay, yeah, cool. There you go. You're back.
Hi, I think. Hi.
Much better.
Sorry, what was the question again?
So you said that you were just about to give up, and I want to hear more about that. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? What results had you not gotten? What were you doing when you were just about to give up?
I mean, after I came back, I was kind of like really in my peak moment of going after my goals and my dream. But then after that, I did not get any response. So I felt like I've been going and not getting any feedbacks or any result. And I've been trying so hard. So I've been for a couple of interviews and I applied for a couple of places, and I didn't get any job offer. Mm-hmm. So I go for an interview and I don't get any job offer. I go for an interview, I didn't get a job offer, and I felt like I'm writing, I'm doing this, and I'm doing so many things, but nothing's coming back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like for a moment I thought maybe it's not meant to be. Mm. I will never forget that day when I was really down, and I said maybe I'm kind of pushing. I'm working in a dark tunnel, which the light will never come up in that dark tunnel. Maybe I will never reach that destination. Maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I'm getting all these rejections from everywhere, left, right, center. You know, bear in mind, like, you know, I applied for a couple of jobs in my company. I didn't get any. Maybe I wouldn't get anywhere else. Maybe it's meant to be for you to always work in IT. Maybe this is your job. And it was really hard. It was one of my hardest times of my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it was so difficult to share it with people because I've been doing it. I mean, I've been trying to staying motivated for the past 5 years, doing so many things for the past 5 years, but I wasn't getting the outcome that I wanted. And I will never forget the day when I spoke to one of my best friends, and then she was with me like in each step, and I told her about my feeling and, you know, how I'm feeling really down and low, and I don't think I will ever get it. And she inspired me, and she said to me, you know, just take each step as it comes, take each step, you know, don't worry about tomorrow. Just, I mean, each day, take each as it comes. And you know, tomorrow morning, try to wake up early and apply for a job. And I said, okay, then, here we go. I'll do that. I've been doing it for so long, but I'll do it this time for you. And that morning, I kind of forced myself to wake up early, around 5 o'clock, I remember. Mm-hmm. I did my prayers, and then I switched my computer, and I applied for the first 3 jobs that I saw in front of me. And I went to work, saying, at least, I did something positive this morning. I applied for a job. And a couple of hours later, around 11 a.m., I got a job interview from the first job that I applied for. I could not believe it, as a journalist/producer. I said, what? Okay, when? And they said, can you come tomorrow? I said, well, it's too soon. I can't come tomorrow, but I can come the day after tomorrow. And I got the interview, and I had my first interview. It was successful.
What kind of company? What kind of company was it with?
Well, it's funny enough. I went all the way to Middle East to look for a job in an Arabic TV station. And apparently it felt like a dream, as if like God was preparing that job for me all that time, and he just only wanted me to be ready for it. And this new company is going to be established here in the UK. Hopefully we're going to be broadcast and maybe soon. I can't say the date and the time, but it will be very, very soon. We'll be on air, and mainly we'll be targeting like the Middle East and community and the audience, just for the meanwhile, and hopefully maybe in the future we're going to be international, and we will be broadcasting for all around the world. So it was exactly the sort of type of the companies that I was hunting in Dubai and
in your hometown
2 years ago. And now I've got like the perfect job with the perfect company here in my hometown with my people and my community, where I will be able to inspire and help. So it kind of things works in a very mysterious way. But I felt like somehow God has been preparing me for the past 5 years to be where I am now today. And all the hard work that I've been doing, it never went for a waste. I thought at that time I'd be just doing things like, oh, where is it going? Like, I'm writing, I'm attending events, and I was a speaker at one point in one of the events talking about, the role of the African women in their countries, and I did as much as I could. I've been a video producer. I did several films for my company. What else I could do? I did a bit of reporting, and I feel like I've been doing so many things, and I'm not doing the job that I want to do.
And now you are.
I'm doing it now.
What stands out for me, Amal, are two things. One is your commitment to who you really are, and that is your sense about what you would truly love to do, what you're really capable of doing, and your commitment to that. And your commitment to it, meaning you're not going to give up for 5 years, meaning even though I'm stuck in this IT job, I'm at this company, I'm close to it, so I'm going to take every possible opportunity I can. You do these talks, you go into these classes, you learn everything you can, and inch by inch you get a little bit of access to the experience of the things you want. Your unwillingness to give up and your commitment to who you are is so inspiring. And the other side of it for me is your commitment to serve, your commitment to do what you're doing for your community, for the women, for the people in your community, Islamic, locally in London, Arabic, all these different things, and your commitment to help them and to help people that are going through similar challenges maybe that you've had, and that is like that's behind you and in you and everything you do, and it's part of your unwillingness to give up. And this is why I invited you here today, because for me a hero isn't somebody that we just look up to or inspired by, but it's somebody who's hero comes from the word servo, the Latin word servo, which means to serve, who's somebody who's dedicated to serving the world. And also the hero is somebody who goes on a journey, the hero's journey, and discovers themselves more deeply. They know who they are. And so they're both in the endeavor to know themselves and to be who they truly are and to be of service to the world. And I think that you are a fantastic example of that. And I've loved being there, watching your journey. I mean, you're not my coaching client. We've had a couple conversations, a few handful of emails. This is you. You've created this. And it's been so much fun to watch you. And I know that it's still just the beginning, right? But it's the first step of your dream. And I'm so happy for you. And I love you for being who you are. And I really want to thank you so much for being here today. It was really fun. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing to you. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am now if I did not have people like you and an amazing friends and amazing colleagues and who supported me all along my journey. And for that reason, I want to be, I had a lot of helping hands to be where I am now. And for that reason, I want to be the help hands for the other people, you know, the same way a lot of people helped me to be where I am, I want to help as many people as I could to be wherever they want to be and achieve their dream, and never say never. And nothing is impossible. If you put your mind into it, you can achieve it.
That's it. You're a good example of that, Amal. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Much love.
It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.